Readers, welcome to 20 Questions with Your Favorite Author, where we ask authors important questions like, why would you agree to be on this podcast? I'm Kelly Lynn Colby, Editorial Director at Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing. Our guest this week is Kailey Urbaniak, haunted fantasy writer and yoga practitioner. Her debut urban fantasy novel, The Sight, from the Spirit Walker series, has recently released. Since earning her master's degree in publishing, she has had the pleasure of working with books for a living as a project manager for publishing companies and as an editor. If she's not your favorite now, she will be after. Welcome, Kailey. Welcome.
Happy to be here.
Excellent. We're glad you're here. How did Thanksgiving treat you?
I was actually sick, so I didn't even get to be with my family, which is kind of a bummer. But I still had a good time with my boyfriend, and we made a little mini Thanksgiving meal. So,
oh, that's nice. What said you like to cook? Did you cook a special dish that you really like?
We just made our own chicken and potatoes and roasted veggies. So, simple but good.
So for the record, that's just called dinner?
Yeah, it was a mini little Thanksgiving,
I mean, come on, if it's just you and your boyfriend, you could probably do a 16-pound bird and eat it for a month. That would be it.
Yeah, we had lots of leftovers, so.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're feeling better, so I'm glad you're here with us.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're great at faking it, so that's a good skill. I like it.
No, I'm much better, much better.
Good. Well, I'm wondering, because yoga, I didn't know you did yoga. So I'm curious, so do you is that something to handle stress, or is it something you do to stay in shape? What's the motivation for yoga?
A little bit of both. I actually like to do hot yoga too. So I'm one of those crazy people that goes into those 112-degree rooms with humidity and all that stuff.
It's just called Houston.
Yeah, it's just go outside. No, but I do it for both stress relief and for working out. I also do some other kind of combination yoga classes that are kind of half HIIT workouts, half yoga. And yeah, that's how I stay in shape, and it's how I just de-stress at the end of the day.
Love it. It's got to be nice. Every time my back is hurting, I was like, when I was doing yoga, because I was doing it pre-pandemic, my back didn't hurt at all.
Mm-hmm.
All that stretching, all of that, it felt really good, and I have not gotten back to it. So every time I'm like, oh, ow, I'm like, I really need to. I need to sign up for a class again or something.
Yeah. Well, especially us, we sit down all the time. So I'm sure your back feels it, and my shoulders. And so yoga just really opens you up.
Yep. Fine. I'll find more classes again, because I won't do it on YouTube. I just won't. I don't have the discipline. So I need to actually find a class and go to it. And it helps if I have someone come with me, because then it's peer pressure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then you can make friends with the other students, and then you can keep going to the same classes. That's what I did. Now I have regular people that I see every week. And if I don't go, they're like, where were you?
I was sick. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't just say I didn't feel like it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. So speaking of stress, you're an editor and work with authors all the time. What was it like being on the other side of the equation as a writer?
It's a little weird being on the other side, because even though I know all these things, as an editor, it's more when I got to the end of my book, I just didn't want to look at it anymore. So I just needed help. I needed another set of eyes. And it's also weird being the author in terms of self-promotion, because I'm used to helping other authors, and I'm post on social media, get all, do all this stuff. And I'm it's so different when it's yourself. But I'm getting better at it, and I'm enjoying it more. And yeah, so all that stuff is just a little different flipped around.
100%. I have the same. I could talk about my authors all day long, but about my stuff, I usually, I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, and I'm an author too. I always forget to add that.
By the way.
Yeah. But it helps me know what my authors that I work with are going through, and really relate to them more too. And I know how much it means to authors too, to get that, especially that first book out.
Mm-hmm. It's relieving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Did you learn anything from being on the other side that you've now brought to your business when you're working with authors?
Um, I think a lot of it is, I mean, you're kind of used to kind of being that like hand holding type of person as a project manager and making sure that they understand what's going on in the process.
Hmm.
But I think I realized more how much sometimes people just need a cheerleader, and to tell them like, this is amazing, and like just get some appreciation.
Hmm.
Um, because for me, it was like, it meant a lot to me when people were like, that's amazing that you wrote that book. And I'm like, yeah, I have to take a second and realize that I did that and not everyone can write a book. Well, I think
Hmm.
everyone can, but not everyone does. So,
Right.
yeah,
Right. And it's not like it's all easy, right?
no. Yeah.
Um, Anatana says, "Go, Kaylee." They're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Um, so I do want to talk about the cover because it's awesome. I mean, it's on their screen too, but I want y'all to know I have a special signed copy. Haha. See, look at that. I love this. So I want to. There you go. Now we can see it big. I love it. Wait, leave it there for a minute, Zafo, because I want people to notice like the color in her hair. Like that is so subtle and beautiful, and it worked great. So I'm wondering because we love that streak. I remember we talked about it when you were in one of the early drafts, right? Like why it was important to you and that kind of thing. So what I'm
Yeah.
wondering is it was important for her character, right? And it was part of her character development too. So I'm
Hmm.
wondering where did she come from? It's Marceline, right? Marceline.
Marceline. Yeah.
Marceline. I was going to get there. All right.
Yeah.
My job as an editor is know how to or to know how to spell it. It's the job of the narrators to know how to say it. So
Yeah.
Marceline, where did she come from?
Well, Marceline, for me, it was so I should back it up a little bit. What
Go ahead.
inspired me to write the book is
Mhm.
when I was in high school, I was in student council, and the every year the student council was invited to do like a lock-in overnight in the school and spend the night. And there's always a joke in my high school that there were ghosts. And so kids would bring like Ouija boards and try to like hear and see the ghosts. And one night, my friend and I were in the basement and we were walking past this classroom door. And also, I have a weird school where there is a basement where there's classrooms.
It's not
But
just for
we,
horror movies?
no, which also my high school is loosely based on the high school in the book.
That's
But so we were walking past this door and we
mhm.
both see this woman standing there. And we turned and looked at each other and I was like, "Did you see that?" And she was like, "Uh-huh." And then we took off running. And
Oh,
so ever since then, I've always had this idea for a ghost in the high school. And so Marceline just kind of came out of that experience. And so she's kind of a piece of me, kind of a piece of my friends from high school. And I always wanted purple hair when I was in high school. So that's where the streak came from.
I love it. I love it. I've heard that story before. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I guess that
Ghost
makes
in the
sense.
high school. Makes sense.
So I mean, it was in high school. You weren't even drinking. That's I mean, and you still saw her. That's
No,
incredible.
we saw the same thing. No one believes us, but
I mean, why would you make it up?
yeah.
I mean, you can make it up in here. That's different. We like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
encouraged even. Um, no, I like that. That's a good origin story. So in here, so it is, YA, so it's got a lot of it's, there are teenagers all the way through it, and they're awesome, by the way. Which character gave you the most trouble?
um, I think, well, Marceline gave me some trouble. She's who I had to change a lot of
Mm,
based on the first round of edits.
mhm.
And I think it was because I was trying to make her a little bit too human, and make too many mistakes. But there's kind of a fine line where, of course, humans make mistakes, but they do some likable things too. And I really wasn't giving her those like likable things. And so she was kind of a difficult character for me to really understand. But once I understood her, it really came out easily. And then another character that was difficult was actually the love interest Tag.
I
Um,
love Tag.
I know. I'm so glad to hear you say that because I didn't know if he was just too nice. But I
Sometimes
like,
it's nice. Why do the girls have to always be the nice ones? It's nice
right.
to
Yeah,
have
you
the
need a
guy be the
nice
nice one.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And he balanced her out in a lot of ways too in that book. And
Hmm.
he was kind of always that that person that she could go to for comfort. And that was really important with all the crazy things happening in her life.
Yeah, she definitely needed it. It's really fun. Um, so, all right, we have to talk about the coolest part in the plot for me. And that is the coffin race. And here's why I say it's the coolest part, like, or the structure of the story, we should say. That's not really part of the plot. I mean, it is. Look, it's really hard to talk about books without giving away everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is always hard. But we've got to talk about the coffin race. And yes, I said coffin race. And for the record, when I read this, I thought Kailey made this up. So please tell us about these coffin races.
Yeah. So the coffin races are kind of like the pivotal point where everything happens at the end of the book, kind of at these coffin races. And they're kind of alluded to throughout the book. And they are real. So the town that the book is set in, yeah. So the town that the book is set in is Manitou, or well, it's called Katori Springs, but in real life, it's based on a town called Manitou Springs, where the coffin races do take place every October. And essentially, back in like the late 1800s, no, early 1800s, I don't know, a long time ago, a woman came to Manitou Springs to help cure her tuberculosis. And when she passed away, her husband took her body and buried her in a coffin up at the top of a mountain. But like 20 years later, the coffin came washing back down the mountain onto like the main road. And so to recreate that every year, uh, there's the annual coffin races where people decorate coffins. You have to dress up as Anna, or Emma is the real name, Anna in my book. You have to dress up as the ghost. You have to decorate the coffin, and then you race with 4 people pushing and one Anna in the coffin. Yeah, and you get prizes for best coffin, best costume. Obviously, if you win the race. And yeah, Kelly didn't think she thought I made it up, and she was like, "That's a little twisted, isn't it?" And I was like,
I don't know about this.
"It is. It's a little twisted, but it's real."
Couldn't get over it. It's so funny. And then, like, a few months later, when I saw the news report about the coffin race, I'm like, oh my gosh, here it is. It's coming back. It was so,
Yeah.
coming back into my life. It never went away. But it was just so funny to me. The things that people do, right? The things that people make. But it's stuff like that that makes fiction feel so real.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're
it was
gonna
very
like,
clever of you to take this thing.
yeah, and I liked that too, to kind of ground it a little bit. And so you're gonna like in book 2, there's another event that happens here in where I live, Colorado Springs, called Porch Fest every summer, where local bands will come and play on people's front porches, and then there's like food trucks and everything. And so that's going to be another event in book 2.
So it's like caroling, but with bands.
Yeah, and it's in the summer, so it's nice and warm out.
That is pretty fun. I might have to go back
Yeah.
to visit that. I don't know. I think maybe you people up there in that Colorado area are locked inside too much of the year. So when you're actually allowed out, you go a little crazy. Maybe that's what
Yeah,
this is.
it might be. Yeah. Well,
think
I
so.
remember I saw the coffin races like when I was a kid. I saw them for the first time and I was like, what is going on? My mom was like, oh, they're just having a good time. Like they're just dressed up. I was like,
You're like,
what?
but it's not even Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, it's around Halloween. They do it in October when it's cold too. So that's another reason why they're partially insane. But
When they do it in the snow, then I want those pictures. That would be interesting.
yeah.
It's gonna have to be coffin instead of coffin racing. It'd have to be like coffin ice skating or something.
They probably could do it in the winter like that.
Might be easier to push.
Yeah.
Harder to stop though. So series. So this is the series you talked about book 2. I am so excited. I cannot wait to read book 2. And so for this one, how many do you think is going to be in the series? Do you have a plan?
I have a plan for at least 4, maybe.
Might be us.
That appears
Okay.
to have been an internet thing.
The internets are being evil.
Dang it, internet.
All right, so we're back. All right, so how many books you said? 4?
4. Planning on 4, maybe 5. I kind of do want to leave it a little bit open-ended, though, in case I do want to return to this world. So, 4 at least.
Well, there's certainly a lot to it. And there's other characters you could pull up and tell their stories, too. So it's very clever. I like how you have the romance in it. It's like required for YA, but that is not the main point of this story. So I like that as well. It's nice for it to actually be the side thing and not the thing.
Yeah, that's always like, well, I wrote this book partially for like a younger me would have loved this book too. And for me, when younger me was looking for a book, it had to have action, it had to have some sort of fantasy, and it had to have love interest. So, I had to include all 3.
Well, we can check those off. You did a great job. They're all in there.
Yeah.
Younger you would be so happy.
I know. Younger me would love the book.
She would. She also wouldn't know how hard you worked on it. So
yeah.
She didn't look at the hours imported. So what's the best advice you've received as you launch your writing career?
That's a tough one. I've received so much good advice. I think for me, the best piece of advice is to just get your work out there. And that's kind of a message from a bunch of different people. But for me, I can be sort of perfectionist. And, this isn't the first book that I've written. I hadn't finished any other book before, but I've written a lot. And to finally just release something into the world is important. And I think that's like a step that a lot of writers don't take, is to actually publish your work. And I get sidetracked. I know that I do. And I get a ton of different ideas, but to just stay focused is really important, because you're not going to be able to publish an unfinished book.
They were being evil? Is that just me?
Yep. Nope. We are dropping network packets.
Tell it to stop it right now.
Yep.
Not nice. This is my friend Kailey, and the internet needs to behave. All right. So we're going to keep going and pretend nothing happened.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do around here. That's what we do when we're writing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to. Or like you said, we'd never get anything done.
Yeah.
Because our brains are always doing just what the internet just was.
Yeah.
So what upcoming project are you super excited about?
Well, I'm really excited to release this series. So at least the 4 books in this series. And then I have so many ideas for other projects and other books. And, I also want to do audio for this series. So, there's just a ton that I can do with just this one project and expand it into others. So for now, the project I'm most excited about is just the whole Spirit Walker series and getting that all figured out.
Getting it nice, complete. Well, nothing else, you know how to do it then, right? And then you get to go into your next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. It's smart. It's clever. If only I would stick with one. Okay. I do finish them now. That is very good advice.
Yes.
And I do have like 6 books that I finished, but they could just, no one else needs to see them. I learned from them and we've moved on.
Yeah, that's how I feel about like some of my other drafts of books. I'm like, they taught me a lot, but I might return to them one day. I don't know.
Like, thanks for teaching me things. Now, you can stay there now. Thank you.
Yeah.
What have you read or watched lately that you've really enjoyed?
Well, The Healer by Kailey Urbaniak. No. I'm really enjoying that.
Why yeah, your check's in the mail.
Well, that. But I also, what am I reading right now? I recently finished Leigh Bardugo's Shadow and Bone series. That was or well, it was a trilogy, but that was really awesome. I try to get into the show, so I'm trying to do that. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I've just been really inspired by other fantasy writers, more in the fantasy genre.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of need that like escape out of just like a modern day uh, story at the moment. But yeah, that's what I've been reading lately.
Smart. Might be what you tackle next. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, if you need a recommendation, you should totally watch Spirited. It's Will Ferrell
Okay.
and Ryan Reynolds. It's a musical. It's awesome. It is so good. It's Christmas Carol told from the perspective of the ghosts.
Oh, that sounds like right up my alley.
So good. I've only already watched it 3 times, and it's taking every bit of my strength to not just keep watching it all day long.
It's funny you say that because I was just telling my boyfriend today. I was like, "There's a new movie with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and we have to watch it." And he's like, "All right, we'll add it to the list."
Oh, move it to the top. Just take my word for it.
Does it get you in the Christmas spirit?
Oh, it totally did. And that's what I've been looking for. Like, I've been watching like Hallmark movies. I'm like, nope, watching that. Like, I kept trying to find movies and none of the old ones work. Like, I even watched the, Charlie Brown Christmas. And I was like, nope, it's not working. I couldn't find it. And then I watched Spirited. I was like, that's it. I found it. That's what I've been looking for.
Well, I need that. I need the Christmas spirit. So I'll watch it.
That's what did it. I went and bought a Christmas tree and everything. Like, I was like, nope, I'm in it now. Let's go Christmas. Course, then I'm going to the beach. I don't know. That might ruin it. Oh, I might have to watch it again. Oh, no.
Oh, too bad.
Highly recommend. So what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, I think cookies and cream is my favorite.
Good choice. Good choice. I think that is the second most common flavor for writers.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the first?
Mint chocolate chip.
See, I'm not a big mint chocolate chip fan.
It's fair. A lot of people aren't, right? But for some reason, number one answer we've received on this.
I think when people are on the spot, they're like, what's an ice cream flavor? Like mint chocolate chip.
They're like, that one. This is the one. It doesn't sound too boring. I'm going to say that. No, it's because they like it. Don't take my dream away from me.
You're right.
Kailey.
You're right.
Yeah. Jeez. Can zombies climb?
Can zombies climb? Depends what universe you're in.
Come on. You should be an expert now on the undead. See?
I would hope that they can't climb. I did just see there was like some sort of, I don't know where this was, but I saw some article that said that there was a zombie virus uncovered from like Ice Age times. And I was like, keep that stored away and don't ever open that up.
Yeah, that's called clickbait. That's because they don't know what the virus will do, right? So by zombie, they just mean the virus has been long dead. Who knows? But I mean, they do have that virus that ants get, right? So it's not impossible. And we get rabies and that changes our behavior. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I hope that they don't climb. I'll just climb a mountain, and then if they come up, then they wouldn't be able to get up. Yeah.
If they beat me up the mountain and they're zombies, it was meant to be.
It depends on your universe, Walking Dead, they can climb sort of in that show.
Yep. Well, like it. It's an important question. Sorry, our fans demanded it. There are ones we have to ask. Which do you prefer, beer, liquor, or wine?
Oh, kind of depends on the day when you ask me. Probably what I would drink the most is beer, actually, or like a hard seltzer. But yeah, I love a good glass of wine every now and then too.
Excellent. So you had fun you just did a signing, you said, at the Bell Brothers, right?
Yes.
Bell Brothers Brewery? Yeah. So how fun? This was like your first event, right?
Actually, my second. I did my first at I don't know if you've heard of Tattered Cover Bookstore.
Heard of it just because of Superstars. We don't have them here. I think they're only in Colorado, right?
I think so, yeah. But so I did my first launch event at Tattered Cover, but they have a bar too. So, it's a cool bookstore.
Yeah, it is. I mean, come on. How am I in Texas and we don't have bars in our bookstores? We need to fix this. Zafo, get on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I had a glass of champagne at my first event, perfect.
I love it. I love it. We have a writing group on Saturdays. It's not really a writing group, it's an accountability group, but we have mimosas because they have them at the place we go to. So apparently champagne is required for the writing process, in case anyone's wondering what to get your writer for Christmas.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn that down.
No,
And
me neither.
if that's what they say is needed, then who am I to say otherwise?
So, I mean, it's a rule. You're an author now. We're going to let you in on all the secrets. That's right. That's right. So holidays, we talked about what you actually had for Thanksgiving. I'm so sorry you were sick, but normally on a regular, holiday, what is your favorite dish?
Oh, probably the pumpkin pie at the end. I'm a dessert person, always have been. Sorry, my dog is behind me. I don't know if you can hear him.
No. Be like, Mom, who are you talking to?
Yeah, he just like hit my chair. He's like, "What are you doing?"
He's like, Mom, this is so weird. I feel uncomfortable right now. That's whenever I'm in a good mood.
Talk to a TV or talk.
Oh,
to
that's
a computer.
true. Duh. That's right. He's like, no, I'm used to it. No, I swear, one of my dogs, every time I'm happy, it must be because of her, right? She's like, oh, you're happy. It must be me.
Yeah. We love dogs. I love dogs, at least in this house. So if they're ever walking through someone's Zoom, I'm like, can you just show them in the camera? Like,
yeah, we want to see the dog.
Yeah.
We've had authors pick up, show their dogs or have a cat jump on them while they're doing the interview. And we're like, our ratings just went up. You're fine. Yeah.
You make that your thumbnail. It's just
That's right. Cat. Just the animal right there. Tune in. What is your least favorite chore around the house?
Cleaning, like, the little dust corners of your house, like where things just collect. And
especially if you have dogs. Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh. And I hate when every so often you have to actually like go in the corner because your broom doesn't get it. And then you have to actually like go and actually clean, and then cleaning like the walls where your dogs, get stuff all the time. Yeah, those are my least favorite things to clean. Very specific. Fair.
Just when you think tile was a great idea until you have to get on your hands and knees and clean up the baseboards because all the dog hair. Yeah. I feel you.
Anything where I have to like crawl around to find it and clean it is just a no-go for me.
I'm out. Can this be someone else's job?
Yeah.
Please? Great. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we're in the very important questions of the interview now.
Yes. Yeah. I'm taking them very seriously.
Yeah. We'll see. Friday wants to know, what is the best chicken recipe?
The best chicken recipe. Mm-hmm. Well, we actually made this roast chicken, and we put butter with rosemary and garlic and lemon inside the chicken. And then you coat it in the butter and the spices and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it just keeps it super moist. And then you baste it, and that's perfect. I think it was a Gordon Ramsay recipe. So you can't, you can trust Gordon Ramsay.
You definitely can trust Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. He has a palate way better than anything I can possibly. I see him try something. I'm like, I would have no idea. How can he tell?
Yeah.
How can he tell?
Yeah. I'm like, hearing you talk about food makes me angry if you hate it, or it makes it sound delicious,
Right. Right. Exactly. Whatever he says, I'm on board. He does these TikTok videos. Have you seen him where he watches someone else cook?
No. Is he insulting them?
They're the funniest thing. He's actually pretty calm. I think he's calmed down a bit in his old age. But he doesn't hold any punches, right? That's the two different things. And someone did his, I only saw a couple of them because I try not to stay on TikTok because I get nothing done. But he did, I could probably just scroll his page and I shouldn't do that. He had there was one kid who did his shepherd's pie recipe. Mm-hmm. And he did it perfectly. And Gordon had nothing bad to say. He was like, yeah, no, make sure you're doing it. Yeah. And you have to, look, you got it. Yeah, that looks great. It was so funny.
I think that's funny that's remarkable for him to not insult somebody. You're like, wow, this is interesting.
Pretty bad if he criticized his own recipe the guy was exactly following.
Yeah, that's true.
But the guy was asking for it if he deviated. So, could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Could have gone either way. But yeah, it's funny. But most of them, he's like, you're doing what? Because in some of those things, they do crazy things like wrap a chicken in bacon or like do.
Yeah.
And it was one of those crazy recipes and like that nobody's going to do. It was madness. And I can't even remember what it was because that's how crazy it was. It was counterintuitive in every way. And he was like, you're doing what? No, you can't. It's hilarious. If you
I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah.
I want to say an hour, but let's face it, a half a day to waste on TikTok. Gordon Ramsay.
I might. I've been so resistant to like really look on TikTok because I know that I'm going to be obsessed. And so I just like am very limited about it.
Yeah. Remember we talked about timers?
Yeah.
If I don't set a timer, just for the record, if anyone's curious, TikTok has messages they tell you when you've been scrolling too long.
Oh, wow.
There's at least 2 because I've seen both of them.
And how many times have you seen them each?
I mean, a couple. Not on the same day or anything. But I needed them too, because when they pop up, I'm like, oh, I have been on here a long time. I should get off now. Like they work for me.
Yeah. Well, it's like Netflix. It's like, are you still watching? And you're like, yes, I am.
But
what's
Netflix,
it to
the
you?
answer's always yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok, it's like, no, why am I on here? You're right. I need to get off of this. I have stuff to do.
Like, I've been in a loophole here watching Gordon Ramsay. Like, I just.
I think TikTok's the worst drug an ADHD brain could possibly pick up. If I didn't run a publishing company and didn't have to be on there, who knows?
Yeah.
Is there any like advertising you've had to do with like your authors that you weren't comfortable with? Like, did you have to like learn some new technology or learn a new way to do something or?
I think just like the usual like advertising like on Amazon. Amazon's a beast and it's kind of hard to get it to take your money sometimes, or it takes all your money and you don't know where it goes. Yeah. So yeah, I think learning Amazon, I didn't have to learn necessarily like new technology, but more new strategies. So I mean, there's always a learning curve starting out with that, with a new client and Amazon ads.
Absolutely. Figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm sorry. We're talking about writing. This is crazy. Let me get back to the important questions.
What are we doing here?
I know. What is this? This is madness. Do you prefer Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars, but only because, and I don't want to say this and hurt anyone's feelings, but I have not seen Star Trek.
Look, you're not hurting our feelings. We're just shocked. And I'm going to give you...
I know. I need to watch them. But I love Star Wars. Yeah. So I think I would like Star Trek, They're
totally different. So it depends. So
yeah.
Watch if you want to. I'm not one that you have to like the thing I like, but in Strange New Worlds is the new one. It's the newest one and it's really good. So that would give you a Star Trek feel. So if you watch like Strange New Worlds and you don't like it, Star Trek's not for you. But if you like it, yeah, you're in.
Strange New Worlds. Okay.
Strange New Worlds. Yep. It'll be the fun part. Oh, look, I said we should quit talking about writing, but my next 2 questions are writing. Ready? What is your favorite part about writing or the writing industry?
My favorite part about writing in the writing industry is just kind of the possibilities now for indie publishers and for indie authors. The world is your oyster. You know what I mean? Like you can do whatever. You can release as many books as you want a year. Obviously, there's strategies to increase your profitability and build your audience and all that and rapid release, but the choice is really up to you. And that's what I love the most is just how also big the world has gotten. And I like how it's not necessarily competitive. Like just
Which
because you're
weird,
in the same, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like just because you're in the same genre as someone doesn't mean that you are hoping their book fails. You're hoping that all of your books do well and sell well. And it's really collaborative. And that's what I love about the indies. And like, I just came back from the 20 books to 50K conference and I met so many awesome authors and we're going to do little swaps of our books and offer feedback. And that's great. That's what it helps me, it helps them and makes everything good for our readers and all that. So yeah, that's what I like the most about this industry.
I agree. It's pretty awesome. We don't have to be cutthroat.
Mm-hmm. There's no industry like it.
No, there really isn't. I think it's just because there's so many more readers than there are writers, right? So they're like, please give me more content.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. What is your least favorite part about writing or the writing industry?
I think it's hard to be kind of like original because like we were saying, there is so much, and you have to compete with not only other books, but people's attention from, say, TikTok or just watching Netflix or movies or whatever. And so just getting that original idea or that spin on something that's been done a million times can be challenging, but that's also part of the fun. So, I mean, least favorite, but kind of a favorite at the same time.
Makes total sense to me. So as we wrap up, give us the elevator pitch for the site and let us know who you think is going to love it.
Okay, yeah. So the site takes place in a small mountain town called Katori Springs. And our main character, Marceline Lees, when she turns 17, awakens a power that she never knew she had, where she can see and talk to ghosts. And the big problem is in this town, everyone who dies gets stuck there as a ghost. And some of them are willing to do anything, even terrible things, to be set free from their purgatory. And so she has to work to break that curse and save the lives of the others in that town.
I love it. That was perfectly said.
Did I do a good job?
Yes, that was great. Good job. Otherwise, she will become one of the ghosts.
Yes.
That's right. I love it. I love it. And who is this for?
Oh, right. Yeah, this is for a young adult audience, but it's really for anybody. But definitely hits that teen angsty vibe. So if
without being annoying, let me put that forth first.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
It can be really annoying for sometimes.
Yeah. It's teen angsty, but it's not a big part of the plot. It's more focused on her journey to figuring out her powers and how her magic and all that stuff works with the ghosts. So if you like spooky things, if you like paranormal, all that stuff, then this is the perfect book for you.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Kailey. This has been so much fun. Now that you are our new favorite author, where can fans find you and your work?
Everyone can find me at Kailey Urbaniak author on Facebook, Instagram. I do have a TikTok, but I'm very not active on there. I'm going to get better. You can also go to my website, KaileyUrbaniakAuthor.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Now, please make sure to review Kailey's work. You can also review us wherever it is you get podcast. And you can follow us on twitch.tv/curseddragonship or subscribe on youtube.com/@curseddragonship. So we are here for your viewing pleasure, and we will not see you next week because we are fleeing the country. But we will be back the week after, December 13th, for the launch of Abandoned, our 4th anthology in the Legion of Dorks series. So we'll see you then.